All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it as always. So hopefully, this I don't get any technical difficulties with this bullshit tonight. And I know YouTube's been acting up, and I've heard other people complaining about YouTube acting up for a while now. So it's not, again, we're hoping that it doesn't affect my shit. Anyway, thank you for the 5x5, Dan Phillips. Parabellum, thank you for that. Sarita, thank you for the loud and clear. Ozark Prepper, thank you for that. Teresa, Teddy, Dobie, Christian, Groundhog, Mike, Jennifer, No Juan, Crux, thank you for the 5x5. Bush Pig, Gizmo, Eddie Case, sorry. Thank you for the 5x5. Teresa, thank you for the no echo. Nomad Metal, sorry, detecting. Or Nomad, sorry. Nomad, thank you for the 5x5. Cat Lady, thank you for the 5x5. Spotted Fawn, thank you for the 5x5, guys. Dorky Weiser, Maverick, Francine, Johnny, My Prepper Journey, thank you for the 5x5. Catherine, thank you for the sounds great. All right, guys. So, hopefully some of you guys saw me on Hudson Valley's live stream. It's always a good time on his live stream. Whether there's technical difficulties or not, it's always a good time. But I don't think that was him more than it probably was YouTube and their bullshit. Again, YouTube goes to their shit from time to time, so whatever. Patty, thank you for the 5x5. Reload, thank you for the 5x5. Hooked on a Stitch, thank you for the 5x5. Silver Graham, Honda Webb, thank you for the 5x5. And Ride or Die and Blossom, thank you for the 5x5. So, what are we talking about tonight? I don't fucking know. So many things going on, it's hard to keep up with. But tonight, guys, we're going to talk about the glimpse of chaos that we saw down in New York City. Union Square Park, to be exact. So, the Warden, Kitsy, Peace of Mind, thank you. What's up? Francine, thank you for the t-shirt. Thank you for liking the t-shirt, sorry. Windflower, thank you for the 5x5. So, yeah, guys. When I saw that crowd from the aerial view above, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And why is this going on? And who the fuck are these kids? And where are their parents? And why are there so many fucking kids out here? So anyway, Steel City, thank you for the 5x5. Rule, DR, whatever your name is, thank you for the 2x4. And Steel City, thank you for the, I said that already, thank you for the 5x5. So, Lifetime of Tammy, thank you for the 5x5. So, I'm watching this shit from above, and I sort of saw something early in the day about this nonsense going down, what happened in Union Square. And I remember looking at it and thinking nothing of it. Plus, I was in Colorado. I was in Connecticut anyway, so it's not like I was going to get in my car, drive a fucking hour here just for it all to be over. If I would have left when the shit was going down, I would have made it in time. Not the point. The point, guys, is that we got to see a glimpse of what chaos would look like if some shit was turned away from people. All right? So if people couldn't get food, water, some supply, whatever it is they needed, this is what it would look like. It would look like that mess. Now, for a lot of people that are still in the dark about what happened in Union Square Park, which is in, I would say, just below Midtown, right? It was an influencer by the name Kai Cenat, right? He was planning a giveaway, and apparently he planned it 2 days prior to that whole incident happening. And he goes on this live stream. I think he's a Twitch guy, right? He's from Twitch or whatever the fuck Twitch is. And I know Twitch is a gaming platform or a live streaming platform for gamers. So anyway, he's on there. He's talking about, and I don't know why, out of all places, he decided Union Square. Like, I mean, I guess better Union Square than Central. I don't fucking know. But he makes this announcement on his live stream, and he's like, guys, I'm gonna give away gift cards. And I think he said in the live stream that he was gonna give away PlayStations. In that live stream 2 days prior, I guess he ditched the PlayStation idea and just went with gift cards. Now I don't know how much the gift cards were worth, but he had a lot of gift cards in his hand. Now he had a stack of gift cards in his hand about yay thick. He also had a bag in his other hand that I couldn't see. So he had to have had more gift cards in that bag. Nonetheless, how many gift cards you thought he would have been giving away, like with a stack like that? 10, 20 bucks each, right? Because this kid makes money on Twitch, but I don't think he makes that much money where he's giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gift cards. But again, I don't know what the correct amount was, nor was it ever said. I'm pretty sure it'll come up in the courts when they take him to court how much he spent on the gift cards. Anyway, he gets to the Union Square Park. He gets to Union Square Park. As he gets there, people are already there swarming the scene looking for him. So he gets out of his SUV, and sorry, before I go that far, so he makes the announcement 2 days later. A night before, he goes on a live stream again, and he holds the stack of gift cards. That's what it was. So now people are all hyped up because they're like, holy shit, this is real. He's got it in his hand. So now the next day he shows up, but by the time he gets there, there's fucking hundreds, if not thousands of kids there already looking for him. So of course he gets out on 14th Street, right, which is like right there. It's 14th Street and then Union Square Park, and then across the street from Union Square Park is Whole Foods, right? So he gets out, he goes into the park, and everybody spots him. So as he gets spotted, they start swarming him. He starts handing out gift cards. So he did give some gift cards out. Wasn't a waste. It was $300 gift cards for a PlayStation. Yo, Blaze, he had to have had in one hand maybe 50 cards in one hand. Not to mention what else is in the bag. So 300 times 50 gift cards. I mean, listen, like I said, the kid makes money, so I don't know how much, but that's a lot of fucking money. So anyway, so according to Blaze 92091, okay, he said that there were $300 gift cards, and he did give them out. So as he's giving them out, there's a video of him on Twitter where he's asking everybody to calm down, be quiet, so that he can hand them out, and obviously they don't listen to him, and this shit goes sideways like that. So now he's trying to give the cards out. They're reaching for him. They're trying to snatch the gift cards. I'm pretty sure they did because it looked like he had nothing in his hand at that point. And he starts to run. His bodyguards actually pull him out. They start running through the park. They swarm him inside the park. And now he's surrounded. Now they're not doing anything to him. They're not beating him up. They're not doing any crazy shit. But now they're swarming him. His bodyguards are getting worried. The look on his face looked like he was scared. And NYPD shows up, gets to him, carries him out like a little baby. They cradle him because he's crying and some shit. And then they put him in the squad car and they take off. With that, the NYPD takes Kai Cenat out of the situation. The situation gets worse because now they're fucking thumping, they're throwing shit around, they're breaking things, they're stepping on cars, they're dancing on top of cars. I saw a video where a kid was dancing on the car. If that was my son, both his legs would be broken at home. I would take him to the hospital, put double cast on him, and then take him to the fucking police station and hand him over. But that's me. So I'm watching these kids step on people's cars for no other reason than to be fucking assholes. So they stepped on one guy's car. It was a white car. This kid stepped on the windshield, breaks it, and everybody's standing there going, oh shit, oh man, look at that. I'm like, what did you think was going to happen when he stepped on a windshield? Like, he's not super strong or anything, whatever. That's one kid. Second kid was doing some stupid dance move on top of the guy's car. They were doing this, guys, for the purpose of just destroying shit. So then, come to find out, either somebody emailed me or made a comment in the comment section that they had robbed a hot dog stand, like one of those Arab hot dog stands, and they robbed him, took all his water, and started handing it out. And at some point, those kids were on the news or being interviewed by somebody saying how people were thirsty and they needed water, so they needed to rob this guy. Not to mention that the guy had a gash on his head. I don't know how the gash on his head got there. I don't know if they hit him or he fell over and hit his head. I'm going to go on the first part that they hit him in the head. I'm going to go with that, but I'm not sure. So anyway, so now the guy has a gash in his head. His fucking hot dog stand, or his vendor stand is completely annihilated, because it wasn't a hot dog stand. It looked like one of those breakfast stands that sell donuts and shit. So they took all his water and his donuts, because the kids came to this and needed water. Why? 1 hour without water is not going to fucking kill you. And I'm pretty sure they didn't need the fucking donuts. Not the point. So they did destroy some shit. I didn't hear any stores being destroyed other than the Whole Foods that the cops backed into. Because when the cops got there, they were trying to get control of the crowd. The crowd got overwhelming for them. And then they were backed into a Whole Foods because they were throwing shit at the cops. And they call it airmail, right? So whenever anything gets launched at the cops, they call it airmail, and they're yelling airmail all over the radios, and they're getting shit launched at them. I don't know who was in charge at the scene, but he gives a level 4, what the hell they call it? A level 4 something or another. One of you guys are going to put it in the chat. And with that, they rally every last available police officer and then some to come and help out with the scene. In fact, that my son's mother, who's a NYPD sergeant, winded up over there. Now, keep in mind, she patrols, and her area is by the UN. The UN is pretty far from Union Square. So just, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 1.5 miles, or a mile and a little bit from Union Square. And that's where her command is. So she ended up there with all of the bullshit that was going on. So that just lets you know it was a level 4 mobilization. That's what it was. Level 4 mobilization. So that was like every available officer, precinct within the immediate area converges on that area and tries to get control of the situation. Thank you, Anna. Mobilization. Right? So with that, guys, they're just trying to contain it, I guess, because you don't see cops really doing anything, because the kids in the front were like fronting, they were like doing this bullshit, but then they were repeated items coming over people's heads, hitting cops. Cops are getting hit in the face, cops are getting hit in the chest. Now, them getting hit in the chest, not a big deal. They got vests on. Getting hit in the face, especially those that didn't have riot gear. Now, you saw some cops with riot gear, and you saw some cops without riot gear. The cops with riot gear came from further away, were able to get their riot gear and respond. The cops who didn't have it, they were from the immediate precincts around Union Square, and they probably didn't think they were going to need it. Shame on them. Or they couldn't get back to their cars in time, patrol cars or the van, to get their riot gear, if they did have it on them. Nonetheless, guys, it turned into a shit show very, very fast over gift cards. Now, the reported number of kids that showed up was 60,000 or so. That was a lot of kids. Now, the aerial shots that you see on the news, that was just one corner of Union Square Park. That was not the whole park. So you saw all of those kids there, and another buddy of mine who's a NYPD officer, he was telling me, like, the amount of people that showed up and the drone technology that they were using beforehand. So he was just giving me, he wasn't giving me any fucking, secrets. And my son's mother, she only gives me, like, pertinent information and more pertaining to her than what's going on in the situation. She ended up okay. She wasn't hurt. Nothing got launched at her. She had her riot gear on anyway, so she would have been fine. But this is twice in the last 3 years where the cops had to respond to some shit like this. Maybe more, maybe 3 times actually, where they had to give a level 4 mobilization to this degree. So yeah, guys, this was for gift cards. This wasn't for water. This wasn't for food, medication. This wasn't for safety. This was for gift cards. And looking at that, guys, looking at that whole situation unfold, and just, even though it lasted maybe 2-3 hours at best, imagine if that was for food or water. First of all, if that was for food or water, it would have been a lot more violent. I think a lot of the kids who were starting the problem, which we saw the kids that were I fucking hate that I have to say this, but interestingly enough, for every video footage I saw, it was fucking black kids and Spanish kids. Now, there were a ton of white kids there, There were a ton of Asian kids there. I saw a couple of Asian kids get arrested, and I saw one or two white kids get arrested. But everybody else was fucking minority. And I'm like, over fucking gift cards. Now, it pissed me off because it pissed me off that this situation happened over gift cards. It pissed me off even more that the kids decided to, let's break shit because we didn't get our gift cards. Keep in mind, somebody's probably sitting on a bunch of gift cards as we speak. Right? So anyway, it's the entitlement, and that's the thing, man. In the inner city, guys, I don't give a fuck what anybody's going to say. I notice with the black and Spanish communities here in this city, it's entitlement. I see it with poor white folks too, the white trash that we like to call them. I see it with them as well, but nowhere near as bad as you see it here in the city. And it's just disgusting. Like, listen, food and water, I'll give you that if you're riding over food and water. I'll absolutely give it to you. If you were prepared, you wouldn't have to do it. But we're going to go down that road in a little bit. But when you're riding and you're destroying a motherfucker's car that's parked minding its business because you didn't get a gift card, that's a motherfucker's move. So now, all of these kids acting like Billy Badass. Listen, I'm hoping some of the parents saw that and turned their kids in. I'm hoping some of the parents saw that, and if they didn't turn their kids in, beat their kids like redheaded stepchilds. I really do. Because that was bad. Now, when that shit went down, I texted my wife. I'm like, yo, where the fuck is Maverick? And she's like, he's here with me. And they went to go see Meg 2. By the way, do not fucking see Meg 2. Don't look at it. Don't look at the posters. Don't think of Jason Statham. Don't look at that fucking shitty movie. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. So anyway, she tells me he's with me. I go, all right, shit's going down at Union Square. Take a cab. I'll pay for it back home. Don't get on the trains because they'll probably be on the trains as well. By the time you get to the train station, she said, okay. Made sure that he was with her because had she told me he was out and about, that's where I was going next. I was going to go down to fucking Union Square and look for him and beat the balls off him in front of his friends. Because I know exactly what was going to go down. But he wasn't there. He was being responsible and he was with his mother. So I had to give it to him. With that, guys, Six Pack American said that is fear-mongering bull. What's fear-mongering bull? Six Pack American, that was a riot, you dick face. Holy shit. What were you looking at? He goes, that wasn't a riot. That was a riot. That's exactly what a riot is. It's when shit is getting broken, burned, broken into, and destroyed. You people so diluted. Oh, shit. Anyway. Six Pack American, you're an asshole because that's what a riot is. I don't know who you're defending or who you're trying to stick up for. That's like calling, and I quote, guys, I heard this the other day, the LA riots, the LA uprising. They are referring to the LA riots, guys, as the LA uprising. I heard that. I had to turn the video off. I was like, no, I'm not watching it. It's a documentary about Asian Americans running a liquor store in South Central or some shit. And the fucking girl was like, ever since the LA uprising, I was like, fuck you, cunt. And I turned the video off. Six Pack, that was a mass riot, you fucking... You know what? Why am I arguing with this asshole? 60,000 people showing up. Out of that 60,000, let's just say 10,000 of them were destroying shit. That's a riot. Anyway. So, and Six Pack is going to try to... It's going to try to fucking make himself look right. It was a riot. That's what a riot is. And maybe he is. I don't know what the fuck he was looking at, man, but that was a fucking riot. That, and when you call level 4 mobilization as an NYPD officer, I don't know what it is for anybody else. When you call a level 4 mobilization, guys, that's a riot. The riot doesn't have to mean the entire city's burning. A riot doesn't have to mean that, you know, all of the fucking city's going at it. It just means that in that area, there was a riot going on. Anyway, with that, guys, LA uprising is a new term you're going to hear for the LA riots. I heard that shit. I couldn't believe my ears. Bad enough I fucking had to deal with Meg 2. Don't fucking see that movie. Bad enough I had to deal with that. I had to hear LA uprising. Anyway, guys, if there is an actual, if there's an actual problem, if there's a shit hits the fan scenario, more than 60,000 people in a city like New York City is going to fight for food, water, safety, medication, and in some cases, very small, power, right? So now, when people, guys, food and water is survival. So is safety and medication. Power, not so much. Well, power might be, depends on how you look at it. But food and water, guys, that's survival, not gift cards. Gift cards are not survival. And if those kids reacted for gift cards, imagine what people would do for food and water. We could, and this is why, guys, we prepare. We prepare so that we don't have to deal with that kind of shit. So imagine if that was food and water. Imagine if that was an actual event where food and water was being handed out, and only a certain amount of food and water is being handed out. How many people you would think show up and fucking start some shit, right? And yeah, I guess he goes. I upset the echo chamber. It's not an echo chamber, thick face. It really isn't. The simple fact that it was a riot. But you either are a liberal or you didn't see what was going on. I don't know. Or maybe you drank the Biden Kool-Aid. He goes, he's 65 years old, and he's a 65-year-old liberal. I don't know what to tell you, man. But you, my friend, are lost. Because there's no way that's not going to... I mean, if NYPD considered it a riot, and every last person with a brain cell looked at it and go, oh, that's a riot. It's a fucking riot, man. Tens of thousands. You know what? I mean, listen, if the shit is on Hudson Valley, man, no problem, man. Thank you for having me on your show tonight, by the way. It's not a big deal. Shit happens. You know, if we were, even professional TV studios have problems. It's not a big thing. And okay, so now six pack American saying 94 was a riot. So he's comparing it by size. He's clearly not educated enough to understand what a riot means. So 6-pack, go get a Twix or Snickers bar, whatever the fuck you want to eat. Go eat one of those. Calm down. Look up what riot means, and then come back, and then you can join the live stream like an adult, not like a child. Anyway. And Virginia Bushcrafter. Exactly. If that was food or water, guys, that, first of all, 60,000, that would have been way more than that, right? Secondly, by the way, which I didn't mention, all the kids, by the way, after it got dispersed from Union Square, like cockroaches, they fanned out of the city and started acting up and still throwing shit at the cops, because the cops had broken it up and started following them out of the city, and throughout the city they were causing chaos. Now, the video I showed you in my video where I talked about this, right? Oh no, 6-pack Americans, he went away. Oh God, no. Come back. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to show you a video of, and hopefully this won't end the stream, but I'm going to show you a video of the video where the kids were on top of the car. And remember I said, I don't know what the fuck is this, I don't know what's going on. Take a look at this video. Now, that SUV, from what I've been told, guys, was Kai Cenat's SUV, and all the kids were all over it. It's why I think that was his guard or his driver was driving like that. He was trying to get the kids off the car. So apparently they were chasing the car for a while. They got onto it, and you saw what happened. It turned into a shit show. So that was, again, guys, that was over gift cards. Maybe the gift cards were in the car, maybe. But I found out the full story of that SUV and why it was driving like that. That was his car and his driver in it, from what I was told. Right, but Kai Sanat wasn't in the car at that moment. He had already been handed off to NYPD. That was his drivers trying to get out of the situation, and they were fucking all over the place. It was like some shit out of a movie, like a zombie movie. They were all over the car, right? Like I said, I don't know if the gift cards were in the card. I don't know if they were actually dropped, but I was told that they were dropped, or they could have been dropped because I didn't see a bag in his hand. So, sci-fi, that would have been cool. That would have been interesting if they pulled into a car wash. Imagine, washed all those kids off the car. But anyway, guys, that was, again, over gift cards. Here in New York, or any big city, rather, sorry, people are going to fight. People are going to hurt one another and or off one another really, really badly for food and water. Because, guys, when it comes down to survival, the stakes are bigger, especially if you have family. If you're by yourself, you can sort of do without certain things. But when it comes to food and water, and you got to look at your kids starve, you're fighting. You're going to become the bad guy for your wife and kids. And I think a lot of people don't understand that or don't realize that. Right? They don't understand or realize that you will become the bad guy if you are not prepared. Because nobody is going to sit by and watch their kids starve to death. Now, some people will sit by and watch their kids starve to death. If you have grit, you're going to go out there and take from somebody else to feed your family. Now, some people might even have a dilemma with trying to steal food and water from somebody else, knowing that you're taking from somebody else's kids. Right? So there is also that mindset. But people are so selfish and so evil these days, guys. I can see people doing this shit for food and water. Now, safety. You'll see that with safety as well. Now, we've only seen it in the movies. We've seen it in real life as well. We've seen people mob certain areas for safety. Like what happened in, was that Afghanistan? When we pulled out and you had all those dudes hanging on the outside of the plane because they wanted to go somewhere better, somewhere safe, and they swarmed that military base to get in there, to get on those planes by any means necessary. And you had a riot break out over that. Safety. So you will see riots break out over safety. You will see people rioting to get into internment camps, is what they like to call them. Right? You'll see people arguing, fighting, and hurting one another to get into internment camps for safe reasons. And also with that, guys, with the safety is also food and water that comes with those internment camps and medication. You will see few people, not many, but few people fight for medications. If your family member has diabetes, if you have diabetes, if you have some kind of ailment or an infection, you're going to see people do some crazy shit for medication as well. It's not going to be a far-fetched thing. So we will see a lot of fucked up shit, guys, if this becomes a shit hits the fan scenario. If we see a depression, if we see a Great Depression, which I think we'll see one in our lifetime, I just don't know when. I would have thought we would have crashed already, but yes, you can argue we're on a slow decline. I understand that, but I'm talking about a full-out depression. I'm talking about a sudden crash one day, people legitimately throwing themselves off of buildings because that crash. The crash we're going to experience is going to be way worse than the 1929. It's going to make the 1929 look like a walk in the park, right? It's going to make it look like the documentary of Gandhi. It's going to be so fucking bad in comparison. You're going to see some shit with the next Great Depression should we witness it. You're going to see I'm talking about food, water fighting. You're going to see fighting for cash that's useless. You're going to see people arguing, all kinds of shit, just to get cash out of the machines, out of the ATM. You're going to see fights at gas stations like you did back in the hurricanes we had here up in the East Coast. You saw people fighting and even a shootout. Not a shootout, but a shooting at a gas station. So you're going to see a lot of this interesting shit, guys, at a gas station during whatever shit the fan scenario happens. Now, obviously, the Great Depression is the one where we're going to definitely see something like that. But an EMP, we're going to see worse if we actually see one. I'm not too. I was talking to Hudson Valley Prepping about the EMP. I don't think we're going to see an EMP anytime soon, only because an EMP detonation right now would destroy the world's economy, guys. If the EMP was focused on us, it would destroy the world's economy. If it's focused on Russia, China, it would destroy the world's economy. We become too entangled in the economic system for an EMP war to unfold. Now, should the BRICS Pact become a solid institute where they are financially dependent on one another and can look at the stock market and goes, we have nothing to do with that? If they can pull that off, which again they're having a hard time doing, but if they can absolutely start an EMP war with the United States. I heard that Canada is inquiring about joining the BRICS Pact. I know that France is inquiring about the BRICS Pact as well. Everybody's jumping ship, and we're going to be left holding the bag, per se. And if we are left alone, guys, if we are cut out of the economic system, I can see an EMP going off and affecting us, the United States, and putting us into turmoil, where then China and or Russia or both will come and extend the olive branch. And guess what, guys? People are going to grab that olive branch. Now, is that worth fighting? Is that worth fighting against? Now, if we have an army where we're not going to take the Chinese olive branch or the Russian olive branch, then yes, that's worth the fight. But if you're by yourself, don't fight it. It's not worth it. Wait till a band of Americans get back together, we get back on our feet, then we fucking take it back. But we have to be patient in taking it back and not a knee-jerk reaction. Go, the Chinese are taking over. What do we do? Let them. Let them. Wait till we get back on our feet. Don't buy into their propaganda. Because, guys, the Chinese are pushing their propaganda here in the United States. So there was an article in the Post about how they made their way into pre-K learning. Now, I don't know what state they made their way into, but they made it into pre-K learning in some state here in the United States. If you look at movies now that are heavily funded by the Chinese, like Meg 2, that movie was such a ripoff of another movie called Underwater with, what's her name? The skinny bitch from fucking Twilight, right? That movie, and the Meg 2 was horrible. Horrible fucking bull. It was a remake of Underwater with a shark. That's all it was. Such a shitty movie. Anyway, heavily Chinese influenced movies, guys, we cannot watch. The Meg 2, I am calling for a boycott of that movie. Because I didn't know it was heavily Chinese propaganda bullshit. It was the worst. They tried to use Jason Statham as the main hero, which he was, but then they had this Jackie Chan wannabe in the movie as well. So, yeah, I stay away from movies now that are heavily Chinese funded. Right? I mean, Maverick, Top Gun 2, that was heavily Chinese funded, and then they pulled out because the movie was too American, and then Tom Cruise put in his fucking money, and an article came out saying he would never deal with a Chinese fucking, what you call it again? Another investment company. Another Chinese investment company. Because he knows what they want. There is no China or Russia, just corporations. You know, it's funny. Simon Templar. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what another prepper says. Somebody be like, yo, there is that water there is blue. You go like, it's not blue. It's actually clear. You know, like, yes, there's corporations, but the Chinese and Russians are the corporations. They're a country that acts like corporations. I mean, like, people always do that. Is there going to be an EMP? Yes, there's going to be an EMP, but it's going to be done from within America. Like, oh my God, just shut up and fucking go along with the, with the live stream. Whatever your opinion is, leave it in the comment section below. What the fuck? It's like, it's always like, oh man, this is, I'm like, oh, we're running out of food. No, we're not technically running out of food. We're just, there's less farmers. Like, Jesus, dude. Jackie Chan will save us. No, Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck. Well, Bruce Willis can't save anybody right now. Bruce Willis is talking to himself and probably thinks he's John McClane. But whatever. Top Gun Maverick was excellent. It wasn't just good. It was excellent. Sick and ghastly. Yes, I know. They're still buying. There are a lot of states trying to stop China from buying land. They're actually putting laws in to stop them and their subsidiaries from buying land, which is a good thing. Yes, Slim Shady, we know the U.S. is a corporation. We know this. We don't have to state the obvious. Kristen Stewart, thank you, Kathy Avicito. Kristen Stewart, the movie Underwater, which I thought was really good. But if you watch Underwater and you suck it up, get drunk, and watch Meg 2, there are similarities throughout the entire fucking movie. Meg 2 ripped off 40% of that movie. Easily. Easily. But, no, Lizzo will not save us, Henry. Lizzo will make us eat bananas out of vaginas. Now, on a good day, when I heard that story, I was like, well, if that was your girlfriend, that'd be okay to do. Not okay to do with your backup dancers, and I don't know who the fuck lets anyone eat a banana out of their vagina. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. But she's finally in hot water. Listen, she's an asshole. She looks like an asshole. She moves like an asshole. She even dances like an asshole. She's an asshole. When you see Lizzo talk about oppression and this bitch is in a fucking Armani store buying bags and shit, I'm like, really, bitch? Oppression? She's the fucking worst. Fuck her. I hope she fucking eats herself and she turns into a round black ball that has to be rolled on the stage to do 2 dance moves that gives her a fucking heart attack, ends up in ICU for 6 months, drops more weight and realizes that being fat wasn't fun. Because fucking Lizzo. Fat whore. Anyway, sorry about that rant. I think the liquor's kicking in. will allow us to allow him to save us. Nice. I always like those Chuck Norris jokes. Those are really good. Chuck Norris in a nursing home. But yeah, man, this whole thing, guys. I mean, one could say this is all a setup, all of it, right? The 2050 plan is fucking like right on point. You know, the no more food or the lack of food that we have, it's right on point. You know, if you pay to see Meg 1 or 2, you are the problem. Yes, unfortunately, my son wanted to see it, and I was like, "Come on, man!" And I knew what it was. But I took him anyway, and I lost 3 more brain cells. I was drooling by the end of the movie. I was like, "The fuck's going on? Why is this movie so long?" It was 2 hours too fucking long. Jason Statham is kicking sharks. Come the fuck on, man! Like the shark wanted to bite him, and he's sitting. I'm like, "Yo, it was fucking." Don't get me started. It was a bad movie. I almost rather watch a nude movie of Lizzo than Meg 2 ever again. It was bad, man. It was just like, what the fuck's going on here? Why is this shark the size of, first of all, a megalodon? They got the size wrong 8 different times in the movie, which was strange, right? Because one scene, the shark comes up from under the water and swallows a fucking boat. Swallows a boat. The next scene, it's ready to bite Jason Statham, and somehow he's able to kick it in his nose and kick away from it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? How does it swallow a boat and then turns around and... Yo, fuck that movie, and fuck Jason Statham from being in that movie. And then he's sitting there trying to be like, how do you try to act like a badass in a shitty movie? Seriously, man, it was bad. Jaws was the best. Jaws will always be the best. Deep Blue Sea wasn't bad. Deep Blue Sea wasn't a bad movie either for its time. But Jaws is still a classic. But fucking The Meg? The fuck out of here. Stupid fucking movie. And everybody's trying to be Billy Badass. And there's a guy in there. He goes, I have my go bag. And in his go bag, he had like all this shit. And he whips out a Desert Eagle, a 50 cal Desert Eagle. I'm like, that's practical, right? Stupid fucking movie, man. Just like dumb, stupid movie, stupid people for being in the movie, stupid Chinese and their fucking Chinese propaganda. It was fucking stupid. It was just a dumb fucking movie to do. Whatever. I never seen anything so bad, and then everybody's like, oh, it's a hit. No, it's not. It's not a hit movie. Fucking like not even by a long shot. The mechanics of that is mind-blowing. Yeah, so I said Deep Blue Sea was alright. Yeah, Deep Blue Sea wasn't bad. You know, that's the one with LL Cool J, right? If I'm not mistaken, he was in that movie. The Abyss is a classic. But you know what I want to hear? They can't get Ed Harris and what's her name to talk about the movie behind the scenes. Like they said, the filming for The Abyss was horrible, was horrendous, and nobody wants to speak about it. But I'm dying for one of them to break finally and talk about the Deep Star 6 was good. I watched that the other day. I was like, it's still a good movie. That and Leviathan. Those are two movies that mimicked each other, but that was pretty good. And the Leviathan, if I'm not mistaken, was just like, it was like The Thing, but underwater, right? That's all it was. Neighbor Bob, I don't know. I don't know how many firefighters quit or retired. I mean, I know there was a few hundred of us. I just don't know the exact number. My favorite alcohol is whiskey. Ed Harris is a good actor. But that's why when he talks, and he's a professional, that's why when they talk about The Abyss, he never brings it up. Like, he never talks about how bad it was, but apparently the filming on it was bad. Like, the crew was cold. They were wet and cold, like 90% of the movie. James Cameron was being a tyrant on the movie set. You know, he talked about toxic masculinity, and he was the most toxic masculine person on there. Or most toxic person, rather, sorry. But there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. But anyway, guys, with that, the one thing I missed about what people will fight for, power. Now, power is definitely something that only people who are looking to make a name for themselves, or who are looking to take advantage of the situation, they're definitely going to go for power. And now you're going to see that in places like, for example, New York City. If New York City gets abandoned because everybody left, there'll be a small group of people left behind. Whoever's left behind is going to succumb to whatever power struggle fights for this fucking piece of rock. And I use New York City as the example because we're an island. One of the easiest places to take over if you blow out all the bridges. One of the hardest places to get to if you had, or leave if you had to. But we're going down movie memory lane. So you know what I downloaded the other day? I downloaded Pee Wee Herman, right? Because he passed away. So I downloaded Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I watched Meg 2, and I wanted to cut the movie screen up. Let's cut it the fuck up. I was so mad, but my son wanted to see it, so I had to bear and grin it. I put on Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And that movie was fucking what? I'm like, it's like the first half hour of the movie was stupid. Because he's giggling and fucking, being Pee Wee Herman. And I'm like, and my father took me to see that movie. So now I know why my father hated the movie. 30-something years, almost 40-something years later. I see why my father hated Pee Wee Herman's movie. Now I thought this whole time Pee Wee Herman was gay. Apparently he wasn't. Because I'm like, there's a level of gay you have to be to play Pee Wee Herman. Just like if you look at Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, guys, you're going to be like, who acts like that? Gay men. Apparently he wasn't gay. But, yeah, what's funny, man? Like, now we're starting to lose people from our era. Pee Wee Herman, Sinead O'Connor, right? Treat Williams, though his was an accident. Like, we're losing people from our era. And then somebody else just died recently. 2 people just died recently. One old guy from a TV show. I think it was from Breaking Bad, and then somebody else. But one shot, one kill said he was on acid. Who was on acid? Pee Wee Herman? Was Pedio Pee Wee a pedio, or was that just a rumor? Was Pedio Pee Wee? Oh, shit. Was Pee Wee Herman a pedophile, or was that just a rumor? I'm alone at God, a rebel. Jason, did you have the Pee Wee Herman doll? No, Janine, but my brother did. My brother had a Pee Wee Herman doll. He had the doll, right? You pulled the string, and he's like, well, I know you are, but what am I? Like his catchphrases, It was a rumor that he was. Okay. Yes, Pee Wee Herman, Ruben Paul, right? He was awesome in Blow. Dick, Breaking Bad. Okay. Yes, and the director of Exorcist just passed away. Some of you guys, you should see this the trailer for the new Exorcist. Looks pretty good, but I noticed something right away when I saw the trailer. Right the fuck away. And I'm like, seriously, we're gonna do this shit? So if you've seen the new trailer for Exorcist Believers, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, but I'm also not because I saw what they did. Yeah, he got caught jerking off in the theater. That I remember. Hemorrhoids. No gay, a perv. Yeah, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, after watching Pee Wee Herman, I'm like, yo, that's some fuck. This movie's fucking stupid. It's a stupid fucking movie. Though Pee Wee Herman, side note, the movie script was the best movie script ever written, and it's the only movie till this day that is solely focused on one thing. The movie was about a bicycle from beginning to end. At no point in time was it about any of the other characters. Though other characters were introduced into the movie, it was about a bike from beginning to fucking end, right to the last scene. So, according to Screenwriters Guild or whatever, it was the only movie ever written to be focused on one subject, and the entire subject of the movie was the bike. There wasn't a scene that went by that you weren't aware of the bike being, focused. Like, you always knew it was a bike, and his whole mission was find the bike, get the bike, find the bike. Up until the pet scene, where then he parked the bike to the side and he wanted to save the pets in the burning store. But anyway, Large Marge, yeah. Large Marge, quick side note to that, she was an actual truck driver. She was a real truck driver who auditioned for the role. Apparently she was also gay, but that had no bearing in her role. But she was, she was a truck driver. Died a couple of years after the movie. I mean, obviously she'd be dead. She was fucking old in the movie. But she died a couple of years after the movie was done. Yeah, we all used to watch the Pee Wee Herman show. Yeah. No. And now I look back on it, I'm like, holy shit. Who was in that? Was it Lawrence Fishburne that was in the movie? Right? He was the genie. Like, he was one of the characters in it. There was somebody black in there, and I think it was Lawrence Fishburne. I want to say it was him. Debs, I'm going to see Nefarious either tonight or tomorrow night. Nefarious is a classic. No shit, so I guess I'm watching it tonight. It's in the basement. Remember, he said, when are we going to see the basement of the Alamo? Oh, is there a basement to the Alamo? And they all laughed him out of existence. There's no basement in the Alamo. Pee Wee's Playhouse. Yeah, it was his playhouse, all right. A grown, you think about Pee Wee like bouncing around, playing around with kids. You're like, that's fucking weird. Fucking strange. Anyone in support of throwing which? Yes. The problem with throwing people in wood chippers is that it gets gunked up really fast. So you have to find another way. Like acid. Just throwing that out there. It was Lawrence Fishburne. All right, cool. No, it wasn't Sinbad. It was Lawrence Fishburne. I remember it was somebody, and he was like super young too in that movie. TV show rather, sorry. Shout out to Davy Crockett. Tom Sizemore was another one, right? He died recently. Is Tom Selleck dead or is he still alive? Anyway. If he was dead, we know about it. But, guys, here's the rub. Back on track to what we were talking about. This is why we prepare, guys. And this is why we have to continue to prepare and always stay focused in preparing. Because the shit that's going to happen, that's coming our way, guys, it's all, the signs are there. The signs are there. Now, yes, one will argue that the signs were there years ago during the Cold War. Right? And that but we're watching an actual decline in society. At least we're watching a decline in society's behavior. And things are only going to get worse. I mean, imagine riding and breaking shit because you didn't get a gift card. Imagine not riding, but being upset and causing a disruption because your EBT card didn't work, right? Imagine that. So with that, guys, we have to stay prepared. We have to continue to prep. We can't let anybody in their bullshit tell us, oh, by the way, um, oh, by the way, you guys need to stop preparing because it's bullshit. You guys are paranoid. Fuck paranoid, guys. This is not paranoia. We're watching things unfold. We're watching people misbehave badly. We're watching people act like assholes. We're watching people do stupid shit on a daily basis. Therefore, why would you want to be outside waiting for shit to happen, right? I don't know, man. We have to stay focused and we can't be distracted by the bullshit. Amanda Wilkinson asks, Return of the Gods. No, Amanda, what's that book about? But yeah, guys, we have to stay focused. Sorry. We have to continue to look at all of the things that are happening and sort of play it out or war game it and go, well, if this shit gets bad, what are we going to do? Now, we continue to prep and put shit in our homes so that we are not doing what, guys? So we're not on the bread lines with everybody else, like Hudson Valley said. We stay away from the bread lines. We stay away from the water lines. We stay away from those lines at all costs. Why are we going to stay away from that line at all costs? Because we're going to be ready, prepped, have our shit ready to rock and roll and stocked before we entertain that. Now, if you have a neighbor in your building that's old and they need food and they want you to wait on one of those lines, if you are armed, by all means, go ahead. But keep in mind, you go on one of those lines, guys, you go on those lines for food or water, you're already a target. Because the person might not attack you then, but if you go the second time for your neighbor, because she's an old lady, you could be attacked the second time. So you have to fucking be Johnny on the spot, and you have to keep your eyes up around you in regards to this shit. So stay focused, keep preparing. Don't let anybody else tell you, oh, you're a psych patient for doing so. Right now, we're psych patients for preparing for potential disasters, right? Whether that's weather-related, man-made, some fucking cosmic shit. We keep doing what we do because we don't want to be on that line. I was looking at that mess, guys, and I'm like, how orderly do you think a breadline's going to be? Now, granted, it happened back in the Great Depression when they had those kitchen lines, and you saw them fathers on the line getting a bowl of soup and some bread and soup, and then that was it. They were pretty orderly back then. I mean, did some clashes happen? Pretty sure it did. But today's society is way more aggressive than the 1929 society. And people are more about themselves than they ever were in helping out other people. We're not about helping out other people. Most of us are not. Sorry. Most of us aren't. But being that more people are aggressive these days, do you really want to wait on that line? I mean, listen, would I bring my camera out and film this shit? Absolutely. Right? I would absolutely film this shit and pass it along, whatever media system's out by the time that happens. But do we help other people out in that aspect? I don't think so, man. I mean, like I said, maybe your old neighbor, maybe the old lady downstairs, maybe she's the only one you want to help. But you can't help out too many people because you will end up by yourself and you will be surrounded in a shit show in a heartbeat if you start helping out too many people. Granted, it's nice to help out people that you know, and if you can do so, do it. But you got to make sure those people don't talk. Big X small. Now, Spam might be the only thing I'll hand out to people. That's the only food I'll hand out to people. I don't have any of it, but if I acquired some of it somehow, I'll be like, you guys can have this shit. And listen, hungry people will eat Spam in a heartbeat. I mean, I wouldn't. Absolutely, I would fucking starve before I eat Spam. I would die and turn into I would look like Mobutu, all skinny and shit, before I eat Spam. I'd be laying on the fucking floor with a fly in my eyeball, thinking about cheeseburgers and fucking freeze-dried goods before I fucking eat Spam. Spam can kiss my dick. But yeah, fuck that, man. I'd give that shit out proudly. Here you go, here you go. I'll put a bow tie in this shit. That's how much I fucking hate it. And I'd look at somebody else eat it, and they'll probably make a face when eating it, but they'll also thank me at the same time. Little do they know, I'm giving it out because I despise it so much. But they're also looking at me like, he's the greatest guy that ever lived because he gave me Spam. Fuck. I gave it to you because I wasn't going to eat it. Not because I'm trying to be the greatest guy in the world. Nobody wants to be the greatest guy in the world in that situation. You really don't. You don't want a spotlight on you. You don't want people to fucking be like, oh, that guy, man, he feeds people. You don't want that shit. You don't want that attention. You don't want anybody to look at you in any other way. Because it's fucking bad. You want to stick to yourself. You want to help who you can. And you want to move right the fuck along. Now, yes, getting out of the city is optimal. That is the first thing every prepper should do. But if you are in a certain boat where you can't move out, you're going to have to think outside of the box to keep yourself safe and fed while you're here. Because it can be done. There are certain buildings, like this building I'm in right now, concrete walls, floors, and ceilings. You're not burning me out of this apartment. You could set next door on fire, above and below me. You're not fucking getting me out of this apartment. Now, in other apartments here in the city, it's wood floors, wood walls. You burn an apartment below, you can absolutely get the person above you or next to you to get the fuck out of there because their apartment will catch fire because those sheetrocks that they use, not all of them are fireproof. Some of them are that shit crap that they use, that they're supposed to use fire grade sheetrock, but they don't. They use that cheap bullshit, why it winds up burning a hole through the wall into the next apartment. Some Colorado Pat Rack says I grew up on Spam. Shame on you. Listen, my father used to try to have us eat Spam. I took beatings for Spam. That's how much I hated Spam. I took beatings for it. My father, like, he would give us for dinner once. He did it once or twice. Twice. He put it on the plate with I think it was macaroni and cheese. I did not touch the Spam. I caught a beating for it, and I would have taken 1,000 beatings not to eat Spam. That's how bad I do not eat or want to deal with Spam. Because I was taking beatings for it when I was a kid. There's no way I'm going to eat it now. Shit. So anyway, guys. All right, so tonight, by the way, Angry Truth Channel, we're going to talk about real quick. That's not going to be too long as well. We're going to talk about something that's happening with the ARM ticket, guys. There's something that everybody should know about that's happening with the ARM ticket. You're only going to see this article in one place and maybe a medical journal. But we're not all looking at medical journals. Not all of us are subscribed to this news source. But something going on. There's two things, actually. Sorry, two things going on with the ARM tickets. But one is way more important than the other. Or rather, they're both important. But we're going to talk about one over the other. The other one has to do with scarring for myocarditis in kids that are getting it. That's a different fucking subject. Also, cancer being ramped up as well because of the ARM ticket. But this is very important, what I'm going to talk about tonight. If you guys want to tune in, just tune in for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. But what we talk about tonight, guys, it's probably going to piss you off because I know they knew about this. They're trying to act like they didn't. They absolutely did. And now it could possibly be a potential problem for the rest of us. So if it becomes a potential problem for the rest of us, guys, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do next unless we start taking drastic measures. And I'm going to talk about the drastic measures on tonight's live stream. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head over there now. I'm going to see you guys, in 5 minutes. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Other than that, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for the respect. Thank you for, joining me on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survivals as well. Thank you for supporting him. And I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes.